We're following breaking news right now. President Biden holding a high-stakes virtual meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin right now. The two leaders speaking via video conference today as a potential geopolitical crisis is currently unfolding. Now, this is new video from Russian media. U.S. officials estimate Russia has deployed tens of thousands of troops right there near the Ukrainian border. White House officials say President Biden is taking a really hard line during the call, warning Putin of very real costs should Russia, in fact, take military action against Ukraine. Let's go ahead and start with NBC News White House correspondent Mike Memoli, who joins us here in Washington. Mike, what is the White House saying about this call? And let's just be clear, what is the purpose of this call?
Well, Morgan, as you say, that call has now been underway for just about an hour. The only visuals we've seen are from Russian media. We do expect eventually the White House to try to put out their own photograph of the president in the Situation Room conducting this. Now, there are a number of items that the White House says are on the agenda for this call. They include the sort of strategic stability in the relationship between the U.S. and Russia broadly. They include the Iran nuclear deal. Remember, Russia was an important part of that agreement in 2015 that was upended by the Trump administration. But there's only one reason, to be blunt about it, that this meeting is happening right now, instead of perhaps in a few months when we were expecting to see another follow-up call from that Geneva summit. And that's because of Russian troops that are massed on Ukraine's borders. This is particularly a crisis moment, the biggest since we've seen in 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea. What the White House is saying, and ultimately the biggest question, is what will the president do to either deter Russian invasion or to retaliate if Russia does invade? And will that include military action? The White House saying at this point the focus is on the diplomatic conversations that are being taken right now, that the U.S. is prepared to impose a heavy economic cost in the form of sanctions should Russia engage any further. They're not willing to, in their view, escalate the tensions even further by discussing military options, but it's something clearly that they're under pressure, even here in Washington, to be considering at this stage.
Mike, listen, I understand that, the U.S. and the Biden administration wants to first and primarily focus on these economic sanctions, but will those sanctions really make a difference?
No, I mean, we've seen just this year the White House take a number of actions regarding Russia in the form of sanctions, and President Putin has largely dismissed those. Now, ultimately, there are more severe costs that can be brought to bear. That's one reason why President Biden spent all day yesterday in calls with our European allies, the leaders of Germany, France, Italy, and the United Kingdom, to make sure they're sort of in alignment on this front. And there are other forms of diplomatic pressure that can be brought to bear. But the real question here is, what is Vladimir Putin's goal? Is he doing this simply to destabilize Ukraine, to try to eventually see a more friendly government take power there? Is he doing this to distract the West? Remember when we were covering that conference in Geneva this summer, what the administration was saying was this is really an effort to sort of put Putin in a box and then move him to the side so the U.S. can focus on other issues. Well, Putin is making it very difficult for President Biden to do that.
All right, Mike Memoli for us there live from the White House. Mike, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.